Chamness here, and welcome to another episode of the Midnight Mentor smokes a cigar and makes real estate fun again. I'm glad you're joining me here tonight or watching the replay. Today is a special day. Well, the whole weekend is a special weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend, and we are very excited, really, to be coming to you tonight to celebrate freedom, justice, and the American way. That's right. Just like Superman. I know a lot of people forgot about that, but he was all about freedom, justice, and the American way. And tonight, the Midnight Mentor is also about freedom, justice, and the American way. All right, we got a big night planned tonight. We sure do. But first of all, let me shout out to all of the veterans. You are the reason why we're here. In fact, if we didn't have you, we'd be speaking German or some other language. You know, there's people on this planet that hate you. If you're a United States American citizen, you are hated by a lot of people. And you might say you personally without a cause, but there are men and women who have given their lives so that we can have the freedom to say what we want to say and think what we want to think and do what we want to do and achieve the things, the God-given dreams in our hearts. How exciting. I'm very thankful. And you should also thank a veteran. Tonight we have an agenda. First of all, you know, we're going to smoke a cigar. And then we're going to get into some trivia. And I'm not probably going to give you the answers to all the trivia questions. What I want you to do is I want you to put in the chat tonight as we do trivia, the answers, your genius answers. And whatever the best answer is, I'm going to give this book away. I don't know if this book, if you recognize this book, but this is a pretty expensive book. This is an Alex Hormozy book. $100 million leads. All right. It's really an incredible, it's kind of like a definitive work of knowledge here. All right. It's got pretty much everything in it that you'll ever want to know about creating leads in our virtual world. That's right. So I'm giving that away tonight during our trivia. We're going to have some creative real estate transaction engineer trivia, so you can enjoy learning and growing with me tonight. And then we're going to talk about leads. Got some really cool things going on there on that front that you need to know about for sure. And then we're also, of course, going to continue giving away one of my free books. Well, it's not a free book, but it's free to you if at any time tonight or while you're watching this video, you text me, and my phone number will appear on the screen here during our session tonight several times. So if you catch it and you text me your name and request the free workbook, this is more like a workbook about how I got started doing creative real estate and how I became a transaction engineer right off the bat. That's right. I started with pretty houses, really. Okay. I started doing pretty houses because that's what, I don't know. It just struck me. I don't know. It's something I wanted to do. And so this book here talks about ugly houses, but it mostly talks about how to do pretty houses. And mostly it just talks about how to make money getting leads for free off of the internet. And believe me, there are plenty of people to talk to about doing real estate deals. So if tonight you text me your name, I will send you a digital copy of that particular book. All right. So we do have a lot going on tonight. The first thing, let me remind you though, before we get in, we will be doing trivia tonight. I will be giving this book away. I'll mail you this book. Everybody can get the free book that I just showed, but you can get this. I'll mail this to you, one person with the most genius trivia answer in the comments section. So feel free to add your comments to the comments section. And if you're watching this video tonight, or if you're watching, you know, as we are live streaming, or if you watch the video over the next week, put it in the comments, And if you've got the most genius answer to some of our trivia questions, I will definitely send you this book in the mail. One person will win this book. It's a pretty remarkable book. The chat room is open if you want to put some things in the chat. I'm so thankful you're here. God bless you. What a wonderful time we're going to have tonight, just hanging out. This is a very informal session, so we're just being cool with one another and smoking a cigar and talking. And we're going to talk about a lot of different things tonight. Some fun, some silly, some serious, some trivia, some prizes, some free things. Okay, so I think you probably get the point. All right, let's go ahead and torch up a cigar. What say you? Let's torch up a cigar. So tonight, I have a special cigar picked out, and that cigar is a Monte Cristo 2 Robusto. Okay, this is what it looks like in real life. I'm going to show you a picture on the internet so you can see a detailed version of it. This is kind of a special cigar to me. And the reason I say that is not because I'm a cigar aficionado. I'm not a connoisseur. I am just a guy like you. You're probably a guy. But do you notice that this looks like a book end? The spine of a book, okay? Well, Monte Cristo is actually a book. The Count of Monte Cristo is where the inspiration for this particular cigar comes from. And I'm going to share screens with you and let you see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. This is the cigar. Actually, let me redo that because I'm not sharing the cigar yet. I'm going to share the cigar with you, and it will be really cool when we get there. All right, so give me 1 minute. Like I said, this is informal. Okay, here we go. I believe this is it right here. Yes, this is it. So take a look at this cigar. Doesn't it look like a book spine? The wrapper. not little smokes. The wrapper on this particular cigar is fashioned as a book spine would be. And that is because the Count of Monte Cristo is a classic book. Now, nobody reads books anymore. I get that. Okay. I get that. I understand. But there's also a lot to be said about that. You should be a reader. There's a lot of guys that watch my channel. If you're not a reader, you're probably not a leader. Oh, who said that? Who invented that? I don't know, but it's a great saying. So readers are leaders. Okay. It's a pretty cool concept. And this is actually a great book that you should read if you're not into reading and you're like, well, I don't read, but I watch movies. Well, there's a lot that you're missing probably in that, but this movie actually is an awesome movie also. Okay, so The Count of Monte Cristo is an awesome movie. It came out in 2002, and it stars Jim Caviezel. It's got several stars in it. Luis Guzman, awesome character in the movie. If you're a man, you need to watch this movie. It is an incredible movie. This cigar is inspired by, I guess is the word I'm looking for, by the movie The Count of Monte Cristo. Now, I know there's a really, really old version of this movie that probably came out in the 1950s or 60s or something. The Count of Monte Cristo is a story about Edmond Dantes, a young man without fortune who comes into a massive fortune by becoming the best version of his man self. All right. So that probably clues you in a lot to what this movie is about. It's a man movie. It's got some awesome sword fighting in it. But let me go ahead and torch this cigar. I'm using I've already used, in fact, a different type of got to snip the ends. So normally, so this is a torpedo, okay? And it's a torpedo because it's got this tapered end on it. That's what they call it. So it kind of looks like a torpedo that a submarine would shoot at another submarine or something. And you can snip. Last week I used these snips to snip off the end so you can get air through it. But this time I chose to use this particular. It's actually a hole punch really for cigars. And you can see I've already punched a hole in it. And there's the hole, okay? So I'm going to do a cold draw on this now. Air does come through it nicely. It's raining here in Kansas City. It's storming, in fact. It's got a nice flavor to it. Let me see. I've got scrolling down at the bottom of the screen. There is various information about this particular cigar. I'm going to go ahead and torch this. All right. So how I do that is I'm not an expert at this, but you just warm up the tip here. You warm up the tip. You kind of rotate it a little bit while you got this flame going. It's getting hot. All right. Now I'm going to finish lighting it. You can see it's lit really well. It's nice. Nice flavor so far. If you've ever seen the movie The Count of Monte Cristo, or if you've ever had a Monte Cristo cigar, this is a Monte Cristo 2 Robusto. So it's got a lot of, it's packed with flavor. It's got some flavors in it that they call flavors notes, I've heard. Nice, smooth flavors, nice notes here. Hey, and here's to you. Kudos to you if you've had a great week this week, or even if you haven't had a great week, here's to a great week to come. I did not always do so well myself. It takes people helping people. That is just the facts. People helping people. And I struggled a lot making money, making sales, making business happen. I don't know about you, but I didn't grow up with some great business role model that really taught me anything about money much. Very nice. If you watched last week, I was smoking a Dominican Republic cigar. It was called Black Abyss. Oh, I like this cigar a lot better. That one was okay. But this one's very, very smooth. So I really do recommend. Now, here's another thing I recommend. And I'm going to share screens again here and let you take a look. I want to try this. I'm on a pretty strict diet at this time in life. But I want you to be aware of this particular Monte Cristo. Monte Cristo is also a sandwich. Not only is it a classic novel by Alexander Dumas, it's a great movie. It's a classic movie. It was remade in 2002. That's the one I recommend you go watch. But this Monte Cristo sandwich is also a classic. It says here, you see on the screen, a Monte Cristo sandwich is a sandwich that is fried sandwich with ham, turkey, and Swiss cheese. Ooh wee for the midnight snack. Dipped in egg and cooked until irresistibly golden brown. Okay. All right, so let's try to take a look at one of these. And then, man, there's a lot of images of this. Let's take a look at this one. Let's try to open this image in a new tab, and then I want to share that particular tab and let you guys see exactly what a Monte Cristo sandwich looks like. And if you've ever had one, I want you to put in the chat, tell me that you've had one of these Monte Cristo sandwiches, all right? Because it looks absolutely delicious, okay? Now, that's what it looks like to have the sandwich. Let me see if I can zoom in here a bit. There we go. What did it say? Ham. I'm going to take a look. Ham. Turkey. Swiss cheese. Dipped in egg. And cooked until irresistibly golden brown. Now that is a Monte Cristo sandwich. Now that's what I'm talking about now. That's what I'm talking about. A fried sandwich with ham, turkey, Swiss cheese. I'm a big Swiss cheese guy. You take me over to the Subway, I'm probably likely going to get provolone or Swiss cheese. But I don't know that I've ever had a Monte Cristo sandwich. If you have had a Monte Cristo sandwich, feel free to put it in the chat. All right? And let's talk, because is it good? Is it tasty? It looks like a heart attack waiting to happen. It doesn't it? Doesn't it look like a heart attack waiting to happen? A Monte Cristo, that looks like liver destruction. Monte Cristo fried sandwich, ham, turkey, Swiss cheese, dipped in egg, cooked until irresistibly golden brown. What that reminds me of is one of these Elvis sandwiches. If you guys have ever heard Elvis like to have these deep fried banana and peanut butter sandwiches or something. Smoking a Monte Cristo cigar, telling you must go watch the movie The Count of Monte Cristo. It's a freaking perfect movie. It's amazingly good. And dreaming about eating a Monte Cristo sandwich. All right. So if you've had a Monte Cristo sandwich or a Monte Cristo cigar, go ahead and put that in the chat or the comments where you're watching this video. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because it looks like a delicious sandwich, and this is a delicious cigar. And I'm telling you, the movie is worth the 2.5 hours worth. It is based off a classic novel. If you're a man and you haven't seen The Count of Monte Cristo, I do not know what you are waiting for. Now, this cigar is a 6x50 in size, Robusto, and it is a Ecuadorian seed Habano 2000 wrapper surrounded by a broadleaf binder, Honduran long filler tobaccos, Honduran. Okay, so it's like taking a trip around the world. That's one thing I like about cigars is, one, it's just a relaxing thing. You don't inhale it. It's kind of a man thing. You can take time with it before we get into real estate trivia. And it's kind of like taking a trip around the world, because There's so many things that this brings us from around the world. There's a bit of Cuba in here. There's a bit of Ecuador in here. There's a bit of Honduras in here. There's a bit of flavors of earth. What's the earth taste like? I've eaten some earth in my life. I taste a little leather in here too. I do taste that. Now, last week it had a little bit of a cinnamon note to it in the Black Abyss. I don't pick up the cinnamon very good. It must not be something my taste buds are tuned in or dialed into. The coffee I do taste. The oak I do taste. Or maybe it's the power of suggestion. What do you think of that? Okay, I'm going to set this, since it's lit pretty good, I'm going to go ahead and set that down. And then let's go ahead and kick off a round of trivia. You guys want to play a little creative real estate trivia? First, before we do that, I did make a promise to some folks that I would share the 5 steps to getting deals easily, and that is with creative real estate. And this is what they are. Now, if you want to overcomplicate this, you certainly can. You can definitely make this way more difficult than it really is. And what I'm talking about is getting profitable deals. Yes, it takes having some deal analysis savvy. Yes, recognizing an opportunity. And we're going to talk more about that in the trivia tonight. But step 1 is just getting leads. And I'm here to tell you tonight that getting leads, and we're going to talk a little more about this later tonight, getting leads is actually kind of easy nowadays. Well, I tell you what, boy, it wasn't when I got started. But it sure enough is easy now. And in fact, it's a lot of automation. So we automate a lot of this. And there's machines and programs online that help us just get leads super easy. And when I say that, I mean people that actually literally like raise their hands and say, yes, I am interested in talking about doing something creative. Like, I'm cool with terms. I'm cool with lease option. I'm cool with what have you. Step 2 is pre-qualifying those. And a lot of times this happens either over the phone or over Messenger. Step 3 is, if you're doing it on Messenger, to get on the phone and finish pre-qualifying them. Okay. Now, how would you do that? Well, I have a form for that. It is an intake form, a lead intake form, and I share that freely with my one-on-one students. Okay. Now, step 4 is actually sending a written offer, because there's really nothing to talk about with a homeowner until you're ready to send a written offer. When you send a written offer to a homeowner, now you've got something to actually negotiate and talk about. So step 1, you find an interested prospect. Step 2, you make sure that this interested prospect is somebody that you want to spend time on. Step 3 is where you confirm that they're someone you want to spend time on. Step 4 is when you send them a written offer. And step 5 is when you, and if you're one of my students, we get on the phone together with that prospect and we close them. We do our best to close them. We don't close everyone, but we definitely are out to get the close done in step number 5. Okay, so we're going to start trivia, and we're going to give away this book to the most genius comments that we get in the chat room this week. Okay, this is going to run for a week because next Saturday we'll be doing another Midnight Mentor session. This is an Alex Hormozy book. I bought this. This is the Count of Monte Cristo cigar. It's good. The best, most genius answers to the trivia one of you that I select I'll mail you my copy of this book. Okay. And it is signed by Alex Hormozy. No, it's not. Okay. I wish it was. If it was, I would not be giving it to you. Okay. Now, if you feel left out because you don't think you know enough to win the trivia prize tonight, that's all right, because you can pick up a book that I am giving away that I wrote, okay? And this is how I got started in real estate. This actually talks about the 5 steps. This has the 5-step map in it. And it also has a lot of other really specific, this isn't just a, hey, hook and grab you book. This is a workbook. This has the details of how you actually go about finding leads, what you say to them, how you communicate with them, and then how you contract them up, all right? So everybody can have this book tonight. If you want to, all you have to do is send me a text message with your name, all right? That's all you got to do, and it's actually my real cell phone right here. Somebody already has. I will be putting up the phone number on the screen here in just a few moments. Also, actually, let me just share this with you right here. This is text me your name and I'll send you this book. Okay. All right. Let's jump right into trivia tonight. All right. Okay, trivia coming up tonight. Let's do it. And here's the first question, and I want you to feel free to participate in the chat. The first question is, what is the primary benefit for a buyer in a subject to transaction? Is it A, to assume personal liability for the loan? Is it B, obtain the property without qualifying for a new loan? Is it C, to transfer the mortgage to a different lender? Or is it D, pay off the seller's outstanding mortgage balance? Now, if you want to get the book, the prize, the Alex Hormozy book tonight, what I want you to do is I want you to put in the comments or in the chat, this is question number 1, because we have 9 or 10 questions tonight. So put question number 1 and then put the answer and then give me your explanation. And the most genius answers tonight, one of you will get this book. I will mail it to you. Okay. All right. Have you thought about it? What is the answer? What is the primary benefit for a buyer in a subject to transaction? This reminds me, I do have a class coming up the next 3 days. I'm doing this is kind of a Memorial Day camp. It's kind of like the first of summer camp. It's all online. I've never used one of these snips before either. This particular one that snips the end of the cigar and pokes a little hole in it. But that is really cool. I really do like that. That's pretty fly. Is that even a thing anymore? All right. Hopefully you've thought about your answer. I do know the answer to this one. I think I know the answer to all of them. You better hope I do. I do not want to tell you what the answer is, but I will tell you the answer on this one. The answer to this particular question, let's see here. Let's just go ahead and throw up the chat here. We've got, it looks like Rodebert. I don't know if I'm saying that properly. It says B. Obtain the property without qualifying for a new loan. That is exactly right. You are exactly right. I wish I had some fake applause for Rodebert tonight, because absolutely that is the benefit for the buyer in a subject to transaction. So if you're going out there to get subject to deals, you're doing that because you don't have to go qualify for a loan, yo. And you get to pick up a house. All without going down and qualifying at the bank, with your own credit, with your own everything. All right. So you don't need a down payment necessarily at the bank. You don't need credit that's 720. You don't have to have a history. You don't have to have 2 years of tax returns. You don't have to have a job. All right. So that's the actual benefit for a buyer in a subject to relationship that starts. And we're going to talk about this week during this particular 3-day challenge, which you can get into. Thank you, Clearview Buys Houses. Yes, that's the correct answer. That is the correct answer. You get to pick up the property without a loan. Okay. Question number 2 is on the screen. A man from the next. Now, this actually happened to me. Okay. This particular story actually happened to me. I mean, I'm not the seller in the story. I'm the wholesaler investor guy. A man from the next town calls. He's tired of mowing mama's grass. But mama died 2 years ago. Okay. The house is still in mama's name. And he's been mowing the grass and taking care of the property for 2 years. What do you do? This is like the movie Speed. What do you do? What do you do? Okay. What do you do? See, this is the importance of being a transaction engineer. So 2 things. Tonight, I want you to pick up. Number 1, this is a great cigar. There's a great movie, The Count of Monte Cristo, and a great sandwich. But you also got to realize there's 5 steps to getting great deals. And you can overcomplicate that all you want and not do deals. But when you realize that it's as simple as step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that you've been missing it all this time, you will kick yourself in the pants. But then beyond that, you need to have a little transaction engineer knowledge. And so you can see here, join me at the Transaction Engineer Training Online Summer Camp. And that starts Monday morning. It's an hour each day for 3 days. Now, let's talk about this. We got an answer popped in the room. Now, you couldn't do what this person is suggesting. You could not get the property subject to because this is mama's house and mama is on the deed and mama is dead. Mama is dead. So what do you, see, I've got some brilliant answers coming in. All right. This is what I'm talking about. If you want to win my copy of this Alex Hormozy book, I will send you. If you've got a brilliant answer, I will pick the most brilliant answer to one of these trivia questions tonight, and you will get this copy of this book. This is an awesome book, by the way. If you don't know about this book, then you don't know. All right. This is volume 2. Volume 1 was really, really cool too. And I have it. I'm not turning loose of it, but I am turning loose of this $100 million leads. He came out with this last year, and this is This is kind of a pinnacle. Okay. Now, we do have some great answers. Kevin Hicks says, offer to take over grass cutting and get it into probate. That's a good answer. But let's say just for the record, you cannot take over the property subject to in its current condition because mama owns the house, but mama's dead. In this story, she died 2 years ago. All right. She died 2 years ago in this story. And I am puffing away on this cigar. So Rotobert says, talk about the mowing of the grass and all that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I can tell you that's not what I did. Because I am not looking to mow yards. All right. I got to clean up a little mess here. It fell off. Easy enough. I did not mow any grass. All right. Somebody's got to mow theirs tomorrow. You know what? I got to mow mine like twice a week lately. It sucks. I'm just telling you, as a man, it sucks. All right. Put your best answers, your most creative solution. We're going to talk about these type of solutions and scenarios during this online summer camp. The next 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If you want to get a part of that, all you have to do is go sign up. It's $57. And that is at the link in the what's popped up on the screen, the lower third there. Join me at Transaction Engineer Training Online Summer Camp this week at iwant2ormore.justinchamness.com. Now, if you're a one-on-one student of mine already, you don't got to pay nothing. You're already in. All you got to do is show up. And in fact, I'm running a special right now for current or former fire, police, and veterans. Thank you for your service. And people that are over 50 years old, I'm running a special. If you want to know about that, just go to justinchamness.com. All right. That was pretty good ideas, guys. Let's go to question number 3. Question number 3. What type of entity is typically created by a buyer in a subject to transaction to hold the property? What do you think? What do you think? What do you do? This cigar smokes so good, guys. That one last week, I was puffing my brains out trying to keep it lit. This one is so good. And I'm not trying to bash the Black Abyss cigar last week. It was nice too. It's a Dominican cigar. This cigar, though, very nice. Very, very nice. Very nice. All right, so we got some good answers popping in here. LLC. Yeah, that's all probably good. That's all probably good. Now, if you got a real creative answer, you got to throw that in there too. All right, but let's go on to the next question. The next question is a true or false question. And it is, the lease purchase strategy allows the buyer to occupy the property immediately while building equity towards future ownership. True or false? Now, if you want the copy of the book, you want to win the book, remember to put the question number so I know what answer you're referring to, what question. And then make sure you tell me your best, most creative answers and the reasons why. Okay, give me a full answer. Don't give me some half-assed answer that I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay. Treat me like I'm in the 5th grade, because I might have only gone to 5 grades and then dropped out. That's not true, but it could be. It might as well be. Okay. All right. So the lease purchase strategy allows the buyer to occupy the property immediately while building equity towards future ownership. True or false? True or false? Okay, let's go here to question number 5. I think everybody knows that the answer to that question that we just did, question number 4, everybody knows that if you don't know, now you know. The answer is true. And where does the equity come from? See, this is what I'm talking about. Put it in the answer. Where does this equity come from? Sometimes it's a gift from the seller. Sometimes it's from future appreciation. So see, in your most excellent answer, you would want to include some details like this. Okay, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. I want you to become a transaction engineer, so I want you to have some great answers. And great answers require details. Isn't that crazy how life always requires details? Oh, the CEO said that the equity comes from monthly payments. So here we go. It could be a gift from the seller. It could be from future appreciation, and it could be from monthly payments. He's absolutely freaking right. Absolutely freaking right. Okay. All right, so let's get here to question number 5. Let's forge ahead. Now, this one I'm not going to give you the answer to, but I can tell you that this story actually happened in my business also. Now, you guys remember the whole grass mowing and mama being dead story? That actually happened to me too. Now, like I was actually the investor that got called in on that lead. This particular story, though, also happened to me. A wholesaler called me and he said, my seller that I have a house under contract with, wholesale, is mad. He needs a quick sale fast. Now, it's got to be cash. Got to be cash because divorce is the story. Seller went through a divorce, got to get rid of the house ASAP. And usually that's because, by the way, a payment problem. Can't really hit that payment anymore like they were because no longer a 2-income family. So they had to sell fast. This wholesaler said, I got this house under contract. They are mad because I haven't been able to find a buyer. That's why I'm mad. Now, how do you help? How do I help? If I'm the wholesaler that's getting called, the second wholesaler, Wholesaler A is calling me. I need help, Justin. This seller is mad as mad can be. What do I do? It says he needs a quick sale fast, and then later it says she's willing to sell. Either way, it doesn't matter. He or she, in real life, it was actually a she. I shouldn't have said he, first of all, but it was a she. She is willing to sell at 70 to 80% of fair market value. And the reason why I did not say after repair value is because this is a pretty house, y'all. This is a beautiful house, a very nice house, in a very nice neighborhood. Like you would live there. You would move your kids there. This is a great school district. This house doesn't need a bunch of stuff done to it. What do you do? What do you do? That's a great question. See, if you're a transaction engineer, you'll know. If you don't know the answers to some of these, you can't come up with any. If you can, put them in the chat. Again, these are the kind of questions that I'm talking about. If you got some really creative answers, you might win this book this week, this Alex Hormozi $100 Million Leads book. If you don't have creative answers, then you might want to join up for that first of summer online summer camp I'm hosting for $57 this week. I'm going to teach you how to be a real estate transaction engineer in 3 days. I'm going to give you lead pre-qualification forms created by my attorney. And I'm also going to provide you with some sample agreements to get things done. My goal is to demystify this stuff for you. Okay? How cool is that? All right, so what would you do? What would you do? That's a great question. What would you do? Okay, Let's move on to question number 6. Who is responsible for conducting due diligence on a property that you are taking over subject to the original mortgage? The buyer, which would be you. The seller, which would be the homeowner currently. The lender, or the government. Okay, now in the answers, I want you to explain why your answer is what it is. Okay, now we got some good answers coming in. People are saying we are, I am, the buyer is. Okay, but no one's telling me why just yet. Now, if you're watching this video or the replay, make sure to give me a good reason why. Okay, because it's not enough to just know the answer. We want to know why the answer is correct. I want to know why this cigar is so freaking great. Have you had a Monte Cristo sandwich? Deep fried. Battered in egg and deep fried ham, turkey, and Swiss cheese. Wow. Holy moly. Okay, question number 7. A seller calls. Okay, so answer this. Tell me what question. If you're answering it later, answer with telling me what question it is. Yeah, the CEO's got a great answer for this for question number 6. Right there in the chat. Thank you, guys. This is a lot of fun playing with you tonight. It's good to see Rick Gentry. Love you, dude. You're one of my favorite people in the whole world. The CEO, Kevin Hicks, Rodebert, Ty Sherwood, Mario texted me already. Wenton texted me already. You guys are awesome. Okay, question number 7. A seller calls. She has an old defaulted mortgage on her deed. This happened in my real life. Okay. This is a lead that I got one day. A seller called and said, I've got a house I must sell. By the way, this is not in the question, but this is a fact. It had basement problems. It had a major water leak in the basement somewhere. There was standing water in the freaking basement. She said, now the problem is I have a mortgage on this particular property that I did not pay and they did not foreclose on. I don't know how you get so lucky. How do you get that lucky? I don't know. But somehow she did not pay the mortgage and they did not foreclose. And then that mortgage company that lending company, whoever it was, went out of business. So when she went to clear up that mortgage, there was no one to call to see about getting it written off or paying it off or doing anything with it. I could not take the property over subject to because we couldn't find anyone at the lending company. It was completely out of business. Now, have you ever heard of that? I had not heard of that until this particular lead came in. This is transaction engineer stuff. What do you do? What do you do? What do you think I did? What do you think I did? Now, if you think you know the answer, I want you to put it in the comments where you're watching this video. And this is one of those questions that you could really earn this book on. Okay? You could really earn this $100 million leads book on a question just like this. Put in there, question number 7. This is what I would do. Now, give me your best answer. Maybe next week I'll tell some of these stories while we smoke another cigar, and I'll tell you what I did, and I'll reveal some of these great answers you guys are putting in. Question number 7. What would you do with an old mortgage where the mortgage company's out of business? Now, why that's a problem is because it still shows up clouding the title. Uh-oh. Clouding the title. But they can't be located. Actually, the company that did exist before they went out of business was based out of St. Louis, Missouri. Or maybe it was St. Louis, Illinois. I don't know, but St. Louis, one of them. St. Louis. But who cares? They're out of freaking business. So does that mean that I don't know. How do we transfer? We can't take it subject to, really, can we? I mean, it's got a dirty title. It's got a dirty deed. And I'm not talking about AC/DC. Dirty deed. It's got a dirty deed. And it was done dirt cheap. CEO is honest. He says, I wouldn't know where to begin with a clouded title like this. Buy the company's name and rights. Wow, that's a creative idea. I don't know how that would work in the real world. That sounds like that sounds a little illegal, maybe, to play a game like that. I'll tell you, Rotobert is on to something with contacting the title company for assistance. But now, what would the title company tell you? And what would they recommend must happen in this particular scenario? Okay, I know what happened because this happened to me. But what would you do? What would they tell you? And what is the traditional, or what is the expected or the common answer a title company would tell you that this seller must do? This is a fire question, y'all. Wow, this is an unheard of type scenario. I've done over 600 deals in my career, and this is actually one of the weirdest ones. Now, Mama being, what was it? Question number 2. Mama died 2 years ago and he's still mowing the yard and all this, and the house is in Mama's. That was a weird one too. Okay. That guy wanted $2,000 and for me to take the house over, but how do you do it when Mama's dead? She's the person on the deed. I'm gonna have to relight this. I'm gonna set it down for now. So there's a lot to think about here. So put it in the comments. Question number 7. Here's what the title company would say. Here's the process of what needs to happen to make things work in this particular jacked up deal. But let me tell you, jacked up deals is where your money is, everybody. I made money on this deal. I made money on this deal with standing water in the basement and an old defaulted mortgage where the mortgage company was completely defunct and out of business. They existed no longer. But the deed was all cloudy and dirty deed. All right. Okay. All right. So that's that. Let's go to question number 8. You ready? Now that's food for thought. I'm going to let you think about this one, and maybe next week I'll share with you. If somebody nails it, I'm going to tell you what the answer is next week. You have to tune in, but let's move on to question number 8 because I don't want to give the answer away because I want you to think about it. Now, and if you don't have a clue, then maybe this online summer camp is for you. Okay, let's go to the next question. This is question number 8. This is a simple one. I'm going to throw a nice slow one right down I'm a fat slow one right down the middle for you tonight. Question number 8. This strategy involves the buyer acting as a middleman to assign the purchase contract to another buyer for a fee. What do we call that particular investor strategy? When you, as a buyer, act as a middleman and assign the purchase contract to another buyer for a fee. Now, I've given you 4 options here. Number 1, and you'll notice that the answer you probably thought of first is not listed here. I know everybody was going to say what they were going to say. I know You're going to say wholesale assignment. I get that, but that's not an option here. Option A is wholetailing. Option B is lease purchase. Option C is subject to. And option D is a discount cash money purchase. What would you say? What would you say? That's a good question. Good question. Rodebert says B. I don't know that that's wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I just don't think that's the best answer. It could be. It could be. It could be. You got me here, Rodebert. You got me here. It could be the best answer. Could be a lease option. But not the answer I was thinking. Okay. The answer I was thinking, and I'll give you the answer to this one. This one here, we don't have to belabor too much. It could be wholetailing. Wholetailing. All right? You could go in, you could cut the grass. Okay? You could go in, you could paint the living room and you could clean the kitchen real good and make sure that the fix the linoleum that's torn. Maybe it's got a burnt countertop. You could fix that. You could go in and modify the bathroom gently. Wholetailing. And then you could sell this to a fix and flipper. Okay. That's somebody that's going to come in, maybe pay more money. Maybe you would flip this to a landlord. Wholetailing. Wholetailing. What is wholetailing? If you know what wholetailing is, put that in the chat here. If you know what a wholetail is, not a hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, but the real estate transaction wholetailing. If you know what it is, put it in the chat. Okay. I'm making you think a little tonight, and I'm proud of that. Okay. Does anybody know what a hotel is? What's a hotel? Let me see if I can look it up for a Google definition. Let's see. Hotel, real estate. Or hotel. Let's do hotel versus wholesale. And let me see if I can share screens and just see what Google says here. And I'll put it up here on the screen for you. It says on Google that a hotel is, and I know you probably can't see that too good, but it is a method of that is exactly what I'm referring to here. Okay, wholetailing. All right, wholetailing. And thank you, people. People are texting me. I appreciate that. You're going to get a free copy of my book if you text your phone number. I mean, not your phone number. If you text your name to my phone number, and I'll show you. All about getting started as a transaction engineer. Okay. As a transaction engineer. All right. I'll send this to you. And some people are already texting me, and thank you for that. And I'll get to you. If I don't get to you tonight, because it's so late, I will not forget, and I will send you a copy of the book tomorrow. Okay. Let's get back to the trivia, though, because we have two more questions in the trivia tonight, and that is for this book, The Most Ingenious Answers. Ingenious is a word like infamous. All right. And I'm going to send the most ingenious answer to this, to one of these questions, whoever's got the most brilliant response. And I know that's objective, and I'm the object, right? I'm the judge. And I'm going to send you, this is my copy of this $100 million leads. I bought this book. I think I spent about $50 to get it here. All right. Somebody probably out there bought it too and knows exactly what I'm talking about. The most genius answer is going to get this. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into question number 9. The primary goal of a lease purchase transaction is A, immediate transfer of ownership to the buyer, B, rental income for the seller, C, future purchase option for the buyer, or D, a quick sale for the seller. All right, you got to think about this one. Now, if you want to answer this one, go ahead and give me an explanation of why you say what you say. Okay? It's not enough to just say A or B or D or what have you. Give me the reason why you're saying that, because we want to be transaction engineers around here, because we want to optimize opportunities. Okay? We want to monetize as many opportunities to contract deals as possible. And that means you got to be creative. Oh, wow, in a creative real estate? Oh, yes, you got to be creative. That's the first word. Okay, so how would we answer this question? What's the primary goal of a lease purchase transaction? Immediate transfer of ownership to the buyer. B, rental income for the seller. C, future purchase option for the buyer. Or D, a quick sale for the seller. Aha. Aha. Which is it? Which is it? Okay. Some of you are watching this with a little delay on the live stream, and so you're on a question that is question 7 or 8. We're on question 9. I'm gonna go ahead and relight this cigar. And when a cigar will go out on its own if you just leave it. And so how you do that is just relight it like you did the first time. You warm up the tip. And then you finish lighting it. Go, it's relit. Rodebert says 9 is B. B is rental income for the seller. That's the primary goal of a lease purchase transaction. Rental income for the seller. That's what Rodebert says. That I would have to disagree with. Have to disagree with it, because we're talking about motivated sellers, and we don't care if they create income for themselves. Just frankly, between you and me and the fence post, I'm not in business to create income for the seller. But I see why you would say that, Rodebert. Okay, I see why you would say that. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, not the best answer of the 4 options. Now remember, as a wholesaler, if you're sandwiching this especially, or if you plan on keeping this property in your portfolio for a while, in other words, or maybe for a long time, in other words, there's a better answer. Okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and end with question number 10 before we get too far deep into time here. And question number 10 is a give me. It's a lay down. Here it is. Why is Justin the coolest real estate coach in the world? I'm asking you guys to stroke me. Who did that song? Put it in the chat. Stroke me, stroke me. That's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for you to stroke me. What is the coolest real estate? Why am I the coolest real estate coach in the world? That is a dubious. You could definitely argue otherwise. What training would you guys like to see for free during some midnight mentor sessions this summer? This is something I'm planning on keeping up for the next couple months in the summer. Cigars and real estate training for free on midnight mentor sessions. I am so thankful we've had a strong audience tonight. You guys rock. What would you like to see? And I really mean this. What would you like to see? What would you like to see? Next week, I think I'm going to smoke a different cigar. I've got a few cigars over here, and I think next week I'm probably going to smoke let me see, a Valencia or an Oliva, or I've got this really nice Nicaraguan cigar I want to smoke real bad. I might pull out that Nicaraguan cigar. See what I'm saying? It's like taking a trip around the world, y'all. I'm ashing this now. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. You guys are awesome. I love you a bunch. Let's go ahead and wrap up the trivia. Thank you for playing trivia with me tonight. On a side note, we do have some really great things coming on the lead front. You guys are all familiar with REI Reply. You're familiar with Go High Level, which is really the platform that REI Reply is built on. There are many Go High Level white labels is what it's called when somebody plugs their name on top of Go High Level, like REI Reply. And I've brokered a deal with Scraping Solutions out of Australia, which is actually the company that I buy data scrapes from. So I buy all of my for sale by owners data scrapes and for rent by owner data scrapes from Scraping Solutions out of Australia. It's a great company. They have a fairly new Go High Level, just like REI Reply, has all the same things, everything, except REI Reply is $99 a month. Mine will be offered when it's out here in about another week or two. I'll introduce it. It's going to be at $82 a month, and it also will have the first month free. There will also be a second option for those of you who love to put your toe in the water and not jump in with both feet. A $25 option that is a one user and up to 1,000 contacts. Okay, so you can test it and work it for $25 while you're ramping up, and it will also be the first month free. Now, I know it says $86 here. That is not correct. It will actually be, and I'm going to change that right now. It's going to be $82 a month. All right, and that's for the premium. So you're saving, what is that? $17 a month off of what you would buy it otherwise. Now, currently I am using REI Reply, but I'm going to switch over because it's all the same. It doesn't matter. It's all the same platform. I'm going to start saving money, and I'm going to offer my students and you, even if you're not a student, the ability to get in at these levels. Okay. Now, also, what I will be having with scraping solutions is, you guys know it's pretty expensive, not really, to get scrapes. It's like $99 to get 10,000 scrapes. It's like $150 to get 25,000 scrapes, which is a lot of records, by the way. That's enough to last you 90 days if you're following the process that I recommend. However, I am putting a deal together with them where you can get 7,500 scrapes, which is enough by far to last a month, for $50. Less than $50. When I say less than $50, I mean like $49. Don't you love that? For less than $50, yeah, like $1 less. Okay, but still, that's a heck of a lot cheaper than $100, which is what their base price is now. See, we got some great things happening here at Real Estate Wholesalers Club, which you can find out more about at justinchamness.com. In the future, like I said, this won't be out for another week or two. I'm getting my workflows put on it, so when you buy it, it'll have my workflows on it, it'll have my pipelines on it, it'll have everything that I'm doing already pre-programmed on it, okay? Not somebody else's invention. It will be my stuff. Okay, so it's one heck of a deal. One heck of a deal. Okay, and last but not least, let me share this with you. We've talked about this a little before while we're closing up here tonight. Thank you for spending time with me. If you want to join me at this Transaction Engineer Training online summer camp, it will be an hour on Monday, an hour on Tuesday, or on Wednesday. You find out more at the link on the screen. Okay. We could also scan the QR code if you like and go check it out there. Remember that the best of all of the answers that you put in the comments or the chat, I will be sending out a copy of $100 million leads to the best answer. All right. But for everybody, even if you're not ready, you can pick up a copy of my book. I've written 5 books, by the way. This is volume number 2. This is book number 2, in other words. Just like Alex Hormozzi's $100 million leads is book number 2 for him. This is book number 2 for me. This is a workbook. Everybody can get this if you want to. All you have to is that you give me your opinion. Let me know what you think of the book. It's a workbook. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Okay, 816-875-6961. Also, I want to let you know that I am running a special right now. Thank you for all of the veterans who... I have 2 brothers, and they're combat veterans. They were in the military during combat times. I'm not asking you to agree with every conflict the United States government has ever involved itself in. What I'm asking you to do is let me honor you. If you're a fire, a police, or a veteran, or if you're over 50, you've paid your dues, let me honor you. I've got a special one-on-one coaching, and I've struggled with this myself until I got this business, until I got a one-on-one mentor. Let me make a special offer to you at justinchamness.com. All right. This is true one-on-one private mentoring. This is not buy my book and never talk to me, ask anybody that's in my, and some of you in the chat are in my one-on-one coaching program, and you know, whether you've been successful with it yet or not, nobody in the coaching world plugs in with you like I do. I am with you. I am in your corner. I will fight until the last drop of your blood, okay? That was a joke, by the way. All right, everybody. I love you. Let's wrap it up tonight. We've been going a long time. There's a storm going on here in Kansas City. I hope you have a great rest of your Memorial Day weekend. I hope you really, really enjoy your time off. If you got time off, I hope you do enjoy time off. I hope that you really, really, really do get inspired to make massive action and create some really incredible transaction engineer type offers for homeowners out there. We are living in an incredible time in history where there are tons and tons of motivated sellers and realtors. Yes, I said it. There's a lot of motivated realtors out there. You can make offers through realtors to their clients just as easily and sometimes even more easily than you can, because they'll do all of the legwork for you. They'll do all the paperwork. They'll get comps for you. They'll get all kinds of things if you'll just make a freaking offer. Get in the game. It's time for you to win. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play is the attitude that I want you to have. This is good. This is good. I sure do like this cigar. One last time, if you want a copy of my book, 816-875-6961. I love you guys, and I'll have answers to some of these really intriguing trivia questions, the story questions. We'll talk a little more about them briefly next week. I have more things planned, exciting things and fun things. And I will be sending out the most creative answer. I will be sending out this book to you. So don't be surprised if you put in a great answer and in the chat anytime in the next week, in the comments, okay, YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or wherever you're watching. I'll pick one answer. Thank you, Bob, for texting me. I'll send you a copy of my book, but the best answer, I'm going to send out this copy of the Alex Hormozi book. Okay, love you guys. I appreciate you very much. I'm so thankful for you. I'm glad that you're here. You guys are spectacular. And this has been yet again another episode of the Midnight Mentor. I will see you again at the same time next week. God bless. And we'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.